Good evening and welcome to Whole Child Wednesday. We're so excited to have you all tuning in with us again. This week we are going to be looking at blended and at-home learning and possible at-home learning setups. So I'm so excited to be joined by Melissa Graham and Brian Fedak, and we'll hear from them a little bit later. Before we dive in, I do want to ask you to make sure that you share this video with your friends and followers and interact with us. We're going to be asking questions. Leave your comments in the comment section, okay? Melissa, Brian, welcome to Whole Child Wednesday. How are you guys?
Hey, hi, great.
I'm great, thank you.
Good. So we're going to be talking a little bit today about blended and at-home learning. And when we think about school supplies, Staples is one of the first places that comes to mind, right? You think about going in there and getting your school supplies for the year. So over the last several months, we have been partnering with area organizations like United Way, Nehemiah Project, Staples, Blue Care, State Farm, to ensure our students are first day ready. And part of that planning has been thinking about what do students need as they get ready and head back to school. So Brian, could you talk with us a little bit about what that partnership has been like and how Staples is giving back to the community?
Well, I gotta say, I just relocated down here, so being in Tennessee, this is my first back to school, and I gotta say that so far the stereotyping of, say, the southern people are a lot more friendlier than the north. I got to say it's been great. It's been very welcoming, and the partnerships that we created have been awesome. Staples is really kind of going after trying to be really helpful to the communities and stuff with all the things that we do. Back at the end of last year when the pandemic started, we offered printing the packages for the students that would not have the ability to print the packet, and we printed over 500 at this location.
Wow.
And it was really, really received very well. We were glad we could help during that. And then this year, going into the new back to school, totally different than we're used to, just like everybody else. We have several different programs that we're trying to do to help the communities in their flight to get back to school, either virtual or at in class. Do a donation drive in all our stores. Every store chooses where it goes. My store and our store in Hickson is doing a drive, and all the donations are going to the Hamilton County school system. In my location, we've already sold over $500 of school supplies that are going to go to Hamilton County. And our sister store up in Hickson, Sean and his team up there have sold over $200 currently. And we will continue to drive that up to the back to school point. So we're very excited about that. And then also too, we were able to help facilitate some of the things for the backpack drive for the school system and stuff. And we're going to continue to do that. And then also, today, as we discussed learning from home, we have a little care package that's going to be raffled off, I believe, to a family to kind of get them set up with a desk and some basic school supplies and get themselves a little bit organized so they can actually learn from home a lot easier.
Absolutely. We are so grateful for that, Brian. And families, as I've said several times over these episodes, I hope that you all are able to feel the love and to feel the support from community members, because it is absolutely there. So, Brian, that was a very good segue into our at-home learning setup. And we'll have a picture that will show you guys what's going to be offered. But Staples has generously donated a desk, very nice looking desk, if I might add. I might have to go snag one of those for my own at-home learning space. But as well as just typical school supplies, notebooks, pencils, pens, desk organizers. So we're so grateful for that. But as we talk about at-home learning spaces, Melissa, could you talk with us just some about what are some essentials and what are some things that parents should keep in mind as they create that space for their students?
Absolutely. The why first, and why you need a space, whether it is virtual or in-person learning, it's still very beneficial to have a dedicated workspace at home for your students, whether they're coming home and doing homework or whether they're working there all day. Just to have that space that is conducive to creativity and learning. And it doesn't have to be a one-size-fits-all space. I mean, these type of spaces can be created in a variety of ways. So I'm just going to share 5 things that we want you to consider when you are creating your dedicated workspace for your student. So number 1 is daylight or lighting. Research does show that the natural sunlight does a lot for mood, as far as creating an ambiance in your home or boosting the mood while you're working. Again, it's just a preference because you can get plenty of lighting with lighting fixtures or lamps. But ask your student, do they feel like they have a different level of productivity when they're sitting next to a window? I know I do. There's a window right here next to me.
Yes.
But just when that natural sunlight is coming in, it just does something for you. And so number 2 is seating. This is also another one of those things that can be pretty flexible. There's a lot of options with seating. It doesn't have to be just your general office desk chair, especially if you have younger children. You can look at bean bags. You can look at stools. You can look at using one of those giant exercise balls. And these are things you can also have more than one of, because you know what? I may want to sit on an exercise ball on Wednesday, but on Tuesday, a stool would be just fine.
Yes.
But if you could have more than one option for your student, especially the younger kids, some of them have that natural moving that we like to do when we're working. And so just having that flexibility in seating where they can move, because it actually does maximize engagement and focus when you have those flexible seating options. That can be done at a consignment shop, a thrift store. It does not have to be elaborate. It does not have to be a home office. It can be an end table. It can be pillows. It can be all types of things that you can find. You don't have to have a ton of money or a ton of space to do it. Number 3, free from distractions, as much as possible, at least. This was a big one for my household because I have an older son who was a student when schools shut down and is a student, and then I have a toddler. Well, her childcare shut down as well, so we were all at home together. We ran into some challenges because
sounds fun.
She's 2. So one of the things you may need to consider investing in noise counseling earphones is what we ended up having to do, because even separating the 2, she still wants to play. She still wants to scream and run around. And so we really had to invest in some headphones so that he could hear more intentionally what his teachers were speaking to him through Zoom. And so that may be something. Free from distractions. If you know your child is easily distracted, you may not also want to sit by the window, because 45 minutes went by and I was just watching birds create nests instead of memorizing my math facts. And so consider all of those things when you're thinking about your placement. Number 4, consider a timer. And this is an actual timer, maybe not one that TikTok says it counts down. But if you're going into HCS at home, you'll have a daily schedule to follow. You may have an hour dedicated to literacy, another hour dedicated to math facts. And so these timers help you and your student. They assist you in staying on track without picking up your cell phone. A lot of us like to use the timer on the cell phone, but the cell phone also leads to other things. And so as students and adults, when we pick up our cell phones, we end up kind of trickling into something else instead of the timer. And so just the standalone timers, they don't cost a lot to sit at the desk and help you keep on track with your task. Number 5, keep it organized. When you are decluttering your space, you are decluttering your mind. And so you just want to get your student into the habit of putting everything back in its place at the end of every work day. That way they can come in with a clean slate and a clean mind in the morning to get started the next day. So those are just 5 helpful tips in setting up your home spaces. I've found them to be very helpful. And again, there are so many different ways that you can create those spaces, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. So we want to make sure that we emphasize that you can really do it on very little.
Yes, that's awesome, Melissa. Such great tips. One thing that I took away is it does not have to be expensive. And in some ways, you can get creative and use what you have. We know that that's going to be a concern for some families. We're not telling you to go out and buy these elaborate pieces, as Melissa mentioned, but you are able to use what you have. That may be an opportunity for you to just get creative with your students. And that's something that you all can do together, is create that at-home learning space. So I love that. Thank you so much, Melissa.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Brian, for coming in and just sharing about how Staples is contributing and giving back, as well as the at-home learning setup that we're going to be raffling off. So families, make sure that you stay tuned, because we'll be sharing with you opportunities on how you could have an opportunity to win that at-home learning space. Also want you to think about, is your family going to be learning from home this semester? If they are, share pictures in the comments. I am an advocate of spreading the love and sharing ideas. And so if you have your at-home learning setup already done, share it in the comments. It may help another family. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Brian and Melissa, for joining us. Couple of announcements before we head out. Remember, the first day of school for Hamilton County School students is August 12th. We will be sharing more details about that in the coming days. And also, we're inviting families to come and get first day ready with us at our third annual Back to School Bash. That will be Saturday, August 8th at First Horizon Pavilion from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. And that is going to be a drive-through experience for families. So keeping it safe. And we'd love to have you guys join us. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.